All right. Welcome to another edition of Sketch Time with Nick. I'm still working on a better title, but until then, that's going to have to do. I got some guests with me today. I have Zander, Zander 6 Comics. You're a San Diego local like me, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Awesome. I love all the artwork in the background there. That's great. And yeah, it's the first time I've ever had guests on Sketch Time with Nick. We also have a good friend of mine, John Apple. Say hi, John.
Hi, John.
All right. So, tonight's theme, working on sequential art. It's a totally different animal than doing pin-ups, posters, things like that. You gotta pretend you're a director of a major motion picture. You know where you're going to put that camera, what angles you're going to put it at, how you're going to get so much, enough excitement out of a scene that probably doesn't need excitement. People talking. It's hard to make that shit interesting. I said a bad word. Oh no, I'm not going to get monetized. Probably not going to happen anyway. So might as well have some fun with it, eh, boys?
Pretty much.
All right, cool. So, what are we thinking characters for doing a quick little sequential piece? 3-panel storytelling. Let's start small.
3 panel story. I don't know, maybe Spider Man.
You want to do some Spider-Man? I'm drawing the old webhead in a while. What about you, John?
I would have had something if you didn't ask.
It was right on the tip of your brain pan, and you're like, ah, damn it, he asked me
Yep.
the question.
I don't know. Figure out something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I like it. Um, Sometimes that does happen. You have no idea how you're going to lay this damn thing out, and you just go with it. Usually, I'll just pick the first thing that comes to my mind and go nuts. But I'm fortunate enough to have scripts in front of me where I don't have to do a whole lot of that thinking stuff. I just, you know, put
Well,
drawings to
even if you
page.
have the script, sometimes you're like, how the hell am I going to pull this off?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's hard to do too, because writers think like writers, artists think like artists.
Yeah.
And I'll break it down even further than that. So a writer thinks he has all the space for his, you know, magnus opa, his great literary masterpiece, and he will write you not panels, 9 panels where the dialogue is going to take up more than the art in each panel. And every time one of my writers do that, I make sure I have their phone number so I can call them. I don't care if it's internationally or if we even speak the same damn language. And I'm like, dude, bro, come on, man. We got to shorten this stuff down. Is there a way for, like, here's what I always tell writers for comic books. They have the hardest job of any writing profession out there because you don't have a whole lot of word space, like if you're doing dialogue, to describe what's going on or to say what you need to say. So you have to put so much information onto a page, and because it's a visual platform, it's a visual medium. You have to describe the scene that's going to tell the majority of your story. The dialogue is secondary. It should be just enough to cover the point, and that's it. You know. So anytime I see a comic book, and even the big two do it now, it's like almost the whole damn page is just dialogue, and you don't want that. So hold on, let me do something out here. I'm gonna share my screen. After I rolled over my own damn toe, now I feel stupid. All right. Okay, so here's the page I'm doing here. Okay, view. We want this a little bit bigger. Fit on the screen. Get layers on the screen. Screen mode. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. All right, great. So this is what I got going on right now, which is nothing. It's a blank page. So here's tonight's assignment. We're going to have one panel of dialogue of the characters that we've chosen, one panel of action, and then a conclusion. So things to keep in mind for that first panel of dialogue, it should be a conversation between the hero and the villain. Second panel, those guys kicking the crap out of each other. Third panel, somebody won that fight. I don't care who. I don't care if it's the protagonist or the antagonist. It should show that it is a conclusion and somebody won and maybe a little shit talking. I don't know. Want to figure out a character that you're going to do yet? It could be one of your own too. It doesn't have to be. You ready?
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
got my paper ready.
You got your paper ready? Well,
Yep.
you're way ahead of the game than most people. And go. Oh, let me check the comment section, see what we got here in the comment section. All right. Well, I'm glad you were able to stop by for a bit, Eric. Appreciate it. I forgot we have live comments coming in and out. We got 5 people watching. We got some people giving us some love. Renee Garza and both my boys, Renee Garza and Gerald Salazar, aka Plum Nuts. That's another story for another platform. All right, here we go. Oh, that's the software?
No, that's my iBox. I was looking for. I thought you sent me the file.
I haven't sent you anything, honey.
Oh, I can't.
All right, so usually I do this with pen and traditional paper. You know, I go old school analog, but I've been really loving how quick digital's been. So I've been doing that. Ooh. I don't know, I kind of dig it. We're going to go with that. So that's a panel. And then I guess I should do another panel, eh? There. Email. All right, cool. What do you guys think about that? The uneven lines, the different weights.
Oh, I like that a lot.
It's kind of gritty, right? Amy Crone?
Crone.
I've been saying it wrong for like the last 3 years, Amy. My apologies. Amy Crone says, "What up? What up?" Okay, that's about enough annoyance out of me. All right. Zander, you're doing Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Who's he
Yeah,
fighting?
yeah. What was that?
Who's he gonna fight?
Doc Ock.
Okay.
Yeah. Just in a pinch,
doing
I was
Venom.
like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do some Doc Ock because I think I'm gonna make his tentacles the panels.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that. I think the last time I saw anything similar to what you're describing was Superior Spider-Man, when Doc Ock was Peter Parker for a while. Or yeah.
Oh
Right,
damn!
so
I think I
here
missed.
we
I think I
go.
missed that series.
God, John, you remember how long ago that was? Feels like forever ago.
It has been a few years. I only caught parts of it because I liked the artist that drew at the time.
So is Peter
Doc-
Parker as Doc Ock? Is it a different
No,
universe?
what
No, Doc
happened
Ock
was
had somehow taken
no,
over Peter Parker's brain or something.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
he put Doc Ock put his consciousness in Peter Parker's body because Doc Ock was dying. So it was kind of like a Freaky Friday deal. He put his mind in Peter Parker, and then Peter Parker's mind got put into Doc Ock while he was kind of like comatose.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it was just strange. It was strange, but the costume was cool. What are they barking about? My dogs are morons.
Samson.
Oh, Samson's out there.
Awesome.
The possum that lives in between the fences of the houses.
Oh shit.
Yeah, sometimes we get on the like it freaked my wife out the first time because he'll pop up on the fence and he just like does his nightly stroll on top of the fence. She's like, "Oh my god, it's a possum!" I'm like, "That's Samson." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "That's Samson." She's like, "Is that a pet of yours?" I'm like, "Kind of a pet of the neighborhood, but yeah."
Okay, so first and foremost, you have to give the backstory why I'm not cool with possums because of the routes in Illinois.
Okay.
Huge. I had to lock the
They're
door because they
deadly.
tried to come inside.
I don't like that. I don't like that right there. Okay. Well, we're rocking and rolling. I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm trying to say here. What the hell? What the hell?
What am I trying to do here, guys? Damn it!
What am I trying to do here? I don't know, man. I've done lost my mind. Okay, so things I try to avoid, center frame of the subject. So if everything's center frame, it's kind of boring. It's stale. Like if you ever watch a movie where it's two characters like right directly in the middle of the screen, and they're just talking and talking and talking. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's boring, right? It's not very exciting. It doesn't keep my eye focused on anything because it might as well just be a still picture, like a child drew it. Everything's center frame. So that's something you got to keep in mind. You got to be able to even take the most dull stuff, like two characters talking, and make them somewhat exciting, and that's how you point the camera. So and sometimes it's unavoidable that the characters need to be center frame. How you place that camera is what's going to draw the reader's eye. All right, so I'm kind of close to center frame here, and this is just my rough sketch. So it's going to be Venom, and I don't have to go into it like super detail with Venom. Just he's got his open mouth and his tongue's all getting crazy. And I give him the big giant linebacker neck.
Yeah, Venom should look like a bodybuilder.
Big old traps. We are Venom. So I got Venom right here. And he's obviously going to be doing the talking. Right there. But I'll end up probably changing the direction of his head, how he's tilting his head. But then we're going to have little tiny Spider-Man. Right there. Position his head, so we're kind of showing the back of it. Mask, blah, blah, blah. And he's going to have a little word balloon here, too. So that's what I got right here. We'll focus on that. So they fill up the whole damn panel. It's not a bad thing. And then I got Venom, who's a little bit off center to the left. And then Parker here is all the way almost to the right. So I've created a little bit of tension, just with two characters talking. So that's kind of what you're looking for in sequential art. You're telling a story and you want to try to do, like, have you ever read a book where it almost reads like an instruction manual, even though it's fiction? Well, that's kind of what happens when you leave things center frame. You want to create a little tension. You want to create a little drama, but you also want to convey the information and, move the story forward. So that's kind of what we're doing right here. So there are ways to do it. Even if you think you're center frame, you can do stuff to avoid that, like I did here. Because Venom is so huge, and I want to show as much of his mass as possible. Now, this will change with different characters. If you do Spawn, you want to show a lot of the cape, a lot of the chains, right? Spider-Man, you want to show him in a really bendy acrobatic pose. These are the kind of things that you want to portray in the character because they have their tropes, So, and then here, since we're doing a simple 3-panel page, I decided to use the background as that for that fight sequence. So now I got to play around with, because I don't have a whole lot of space. I can't draw, I can't take up the whole space with the figures, right? So I got to get creative and use my imagination and play with camera angles and things like that to make so it's a fight scene. Everybody's included that you want included, right? And that'll move the story forward. And since most people read books, read left to right, so you're kind of creating this zigzag pattern here, right? So this will be where the character's fighting, this is where they're talking, and this is where one's going to be brooding over the other, as a conclusion. You're to be continued, the end, whatever. So, and if anybody has any questions that are watching at home, drop them in the comments section. I'll be more than happy to answer them. If I can't answer them, John can answer them. You know, John's got a couple of comic books under his belt. What are you working on? You're working on your what book are you working on now? You just did Exodus Z. What's the
Yeah.
next one you're moving
Well,
on
right
to?
now I'm in between books. I'm there's a shark horror story I'm working on. I'm waiting for the writer to get back with me with the next set of pages,
Okay.
and then yeah,
Is it like a Jaws or?
that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And I watched
Alright.
a whole bunch of shark movies as research.
Okay.
I've gotten the first 5 pages done. I can't really
Right.
show a whole heck of a lot of that though, but it's starting to get good. We just had the first shark attack within the first
Nice.
5 pages, and then I'm should be starting the next Exodus Z within the next week or so, because we
right.
should have that follow-up story I was telling you about.
Yeah.
In Tales of the Collective that should be crowdfunded. I think the campaign's going to start middle of the month or so. But other than that, I'm just working on my own stuff.
That's good, man. I like that. And that's the message to go along with what John's creating over there, because they are scary. I mean, I saw Jaws when I was a kid, and I was seeing them in every body of water I was swimming in, mostly pools, clear pools, you know, where you could see the bottom. And my brain would like throw a shark in there, like mental Photoshop. I'm
Dude,
like,
I
yeah,
know exactly what you mean. I think I have a phobia of sharks.
yeah. I had that phobia for years, so I went scuba diving in the Red Sea. And hold on, how do I take this off? No, don't show it anymore. Okay, hide. There we go.
I do have a picture on my phone that helps any.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's your work. I know that line work anywhere.
Yeah.
Ooh, wee, man, you're freaking good,
Great
man.
detail stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, John's pretty good. He has a style that's akin to. Oh God, I wish I could remember that artist's name. He did Ghost Rider in like the early 2000s. He had like this really stylized, like form to it. Oh, God. I'd go dig through my long boxes, but we'd be here like all night.
I know one of the Kuberts did, like when they first brought him back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of drawing on a blank on anybody in particular other than that though. Mark Texeria.
Oh yeah,
he did some maybe.
Get to see what Zander's drawing here.
Yeah.
All right, that's a pretty cool technique. I like where you're going with it. You're using the tentacles to set up the panels. It's good stuff, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is, in this scene, in the way that you see it, is the tentacle, is the separation of the panels. But then, like, if you were kind of to look at it, it'll be like a 3 mark each way. And I really don't know what I'm gonna do for the victory part here to kind of really tie it all in. So I'm actually I don't know what I'm gonna do at that part. He's shooting web at him, so the dialogue would be here. He's not necessarily attacking him, or he's in mid attack, and then
I like it.
Spider-Man evades it, shoots the web, and then it's gonna be like it hits his face or something like that. I think.
Yeah. Hey. Sometimes it just comes to you in the moment. Like there's been numerous times where I'm doing thumbnails, you know, and layouts for the page. And I'm like, okay, I got it, and I'll get like maybe 6 pages ahead of myself. And then I'll go back to that first page, that first layout. I'm like, and I'll read the script. I'm like, that page. I'm like, oh, actually, you know what? I thought of something better, and then I got to change it.
I lost track of how many times I'll read a script and I'll do like little thumbnails on the script itself, and then sometimes I'll do it on the back of one of the pages in my sketchbook, and I'll just keep going until I get something I like.
Right. because in the layout phase you're working so small with the thumbnails, right?
Yeah.
But some things just look amazing in thumbnail. You're like, oh, this is just gonna slay, dude. You know. And then when you get to when have to go like full size, you're like, oh shit, man, this ain't working at all, bro. What the hell? What the hell? So let's try that. You can kind of cheat with Venom's anatomy. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing with this tentacles. I'm cheating like a motherfucker right now.
Well, and it's a trick I learned when I was going to art school. Is like there's things that you can absolutely cheat because luckily one of my illustration professors he spent a short stint in comics before becoming a professor. So he goes, you can cheat a lot of things like anatomy. You can cheat the hell out of that, except for the female form. He had an except for everything. He's like you can cheat perspective, sort of, unless it's a dream sequence, then you can cheat like hell on a dream sequence. But actually, so he had these little rules, but he had like a list of rules of what you can cheat on while you're illustrating stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. So let's do this big ass hand because Venom has big old mitts. And so he's got his claws. And for those of you that haven't backed Bengali issue 3, you should totally do that, especially if you're a fan of stories, characters like Venom, Spawn, The Mask. There's a lot of good stuff going on in there. And don't worry if you didn't get issues 1 and 2. We have a tier where you can get all 3. All 3. For $25, all 3. You could get them in single floppy issues, or I am putting them in like 100-page, maybe a little bit more than 100-page trade paperback. I'm throwing in a bonus little 8-page comic that we did 5 years ago called War Drums. It'll be in there, so you can get, because it's very Bengali focused as like the main antagonist. Even though he's a hero right now, he's going to be the main antagonist for the Apogee universe. He aims to misbehave. So, all right. John, you just finished a successful crowdfunding campaign, didn't you?
Yeah.
Exodus Z, was that it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
tell us about
it. We funded the same book we started it on Kickstarter. We funded it, and then my writer Jorge Alvarez decided we wanted to try to open it up to more potential fans. So we opened up a campaign on Indiegogo. I don't think either one of us will do it again though, because I was never a fan of that site in the first place.
Right.
Just because how they like to randomly shadow ban people. There never seemed to be any rhyme or reason to why they did it. But we funded on there, and for last I heard, like yesterday, they were taking their sweet time turning the money over to them.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about Indiegogo. Kickstarter usually gets it to you in like 7 to 10 business days.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Indiegogo I know really takes its time. One of the things I like about Fund My Comic, if you do the take it all option, not the live or die option, kind of like what Indiegogo or Kickstarter does. As money comes in, they start sending money to the account. So
yeah,
like that first week we made about $400 some odd, and then they're like, "Hey, we're releasing the funds to the account of your choosing. In the next 24 hours, you should have it in." They're like, "Boom!" I'm like, "All right, that's cool." So that's one of the things I like about Fund My Comic. Luke Stone did a really good job with that site.
It's called Fund My Comic?
Yeah, it's called fundmycomic.com. First time users, I think the only thing that they gotta, because everybody takes their cut, right? Indiegogo and Kickstarter. Kickstarter takes like 10%. Indiegogo takes 5%, I think. If it's your first time on Fund My Comic, I think they only take like a 2% cut, and that's to keep the website running and keep the lights on. You know what I mean? So
right.
So it's really good. so that's what I'm going to do. Sometimes you don't even realize what you're going to do until you start drawing the damn thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of artists, they'll get stuck in their little own headcanon about it. It's like, oh my god, I don't have the whole thing planned out. It's like, no, sometimes you don't have it all planned out, you know. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Artists make mistakes all the time. I was watching a live feed of Jim Lee, my favorite artist.
Me too.
Heavily influenced my artwork as a kid. Him and Mark Silvestri, a little bit of Rob Liefeld, and then I started not liking Rob Liefeld, not as a person, but like his artwork, because like the dude's anatomy is out of whack. So, and if you're listening, Rob, which I doubt you are, I still love you, buddy. It's just shit, man. You got to own that you have mistakes too, bro. I see you on Twitter. I see you running your mouth. I got you. Just because you in a Levi's commercial back in the day? Nah, you're not free of scrutiny. However, yeah, I was watching him do a live feed. He used to do it on Twitch quite a bit, like every Sunday. I watch him going to town on pencils, right? And he's like, oh, man, I screwed that up. And someone who's always looked up to Jim, I'm like, where the hell did you screw up, dude? But somehow he had enough self-evaluation. He knew he could do better on that particular, I think it was a leg, the way he positioned a leg. He was drawing Wonder Woman. He was drawing it in a bathroom. He was doing Twitch in a bathroom because he was on vacation in Europe.
I've seen this one.
You know, and he's there like sitting on the toilet with his travel board. He's got the page right there, and he's like, "Oh man, I screwed up this leg." He's like, "I don't like where this leg's from." And he moved it. He erased the whole damn leg. He was almost done, you know, just so he could make the leg the way he wanted. He's like, "All right, okay, so yeah, all right, cool, and we're good." And then he started jumping into the details. And I was like, holy shit, these guys make mistakes too. And that's awesome, you know, because as fans or aspiring artists, we think that we got to get to a point where it's always perfect. Where it's always perfect. We knew exactly what we were doing at the time we were doing it. What was it?
So it's never perfect.
No. Aiming for perfection is dumb. You don't draw till perfection. You draw until it's finished. And then you have to know when to abandon it, because I don't even know who said it, but it was some famous artist. And he goes, art is never done. It's only abandoned at a specific time. Because I've been guilty of that, where I'm drawing something and then I've over rendered it and now it looks like crap. I'm like, what the hell, man? So put that big arm in there.
All right, got my scene locked in.
Ooh, okay, so we're gonna wrap that. That too, because he can do that. He's got those types of powers. He's got the little tendrils coming out, wrapping up Spider-Man. He's gonna get his big old legs in there.
You have big legs.
Huh?
You have big legs.
Oh yeah, I do have big legs. Sorry. I was like, what are you talking about? I have big what?
Just
I like big butts
shit.
and I like to lie. Oh, that's not how it goes. We're gonna put some debris in there to show that it was a big ass fight. I don't know if we're gonna. I got like a half hour to pull off as much of this page as possible, but really, kind of what I wanted to challenge us with is mostly the layout. You know.
Excuse me.
Nope.
No excuse from Miss Stabby Stab.
We're gonna hold you to that.
That's right. To the excuse me. Yeah, there's not much. I'll try and draw some debris here.
It's because
Yeah, and
Nick put so much vodka in my cup.
Yeah, I overfilled her drink. Oh no, what a monster am I?
All the vodkas.
Yeah, as an artist, I mean, I've always been drawing in comic book style, but as far as creating comic books, you know, I did my little thing when I was young and stuff, but never really got into comic book making as far as like doing it. I'm always into
Right.
it, always gonna do it, but I've been I've been telling myself the last 7 years I've been messing around trying to sell my artwork, and I haven't even been doing the actual thing I need to be doing. But there's no regrets in any of it because I made a whole support group out of it, out of selling my artwork. So now I'm just like in a space where, like I said, I hit you with the storytelling. That's what
Yeah.
I that's what I need.
Well, I mean, there's two different approaches. From the artist side, you're drawing what the writer wrote, and you're trying to do the most justice with his words through your pictures, you know. So, but on the writer side, that's totally different. And I am a writer. I wrote my first comic book. So if you're worried about like, because how old are you, Xander? You're in your 20s, right?
26, yes sir.
26. Okay, so I didn't do my first comic until I was 33 years old, and I'd been in the comic book form as long as I can remember. I just remember falling in love with the medium. So the first one I actually did, I did like 3 pages. I was in basic training. This was in 1996, so many moons ago, because I'm old. Um, I had a little bit of downtime before lights out. I had already, polished my boots, starched my uniform, all that stuff, ready for the next day. So I had a little bit of downtime. I had asked my mom. The first letter I wrote, I'm like, "Hey, can you send me like a care package of like a drawing book, um, a sketchbook, and some pencils, some mechanical pencils, and a couple of fine point sharpies." And took about 3 or 4 weeks. Finally got to me, and I started doodling, because I didn't want to lose it. I mean, I was when I joined the army. Right before that, I was getting to a level that I might have been picked up by Image. At least I thought. It was like really Rob Liefeld level stuff. I hadn't gotten to my Jim Lee phase of imitation yet.
That's a hard feat.
I'm kind of there now, but I'm Jim Lee in like the early 2000s, not like he is now, because he's got such a head start above me. And I think when I really started coming up with my own style was when I stopped trying to be Jim Lee and I just started being Nick.
Right.
So that was kind of the hardest thing to get to. Actually, I'm gonna put this above. Hold on. Do some creative Photoshop in here. Oh, that's not it. All right, and then this guy, we're just gonna take the white out. There we go. That's much better. Now we can actually kind of see what we're doing. All right, so now we get to. And one of the advantages of working digitally is that I can do all this blue line layout stuff, and then I can go right to ink. So I can skip the pencil phase. Yes, it's cheating. No, I don't care.
Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
And if you get caught, you're not trying hard enough, right?
Pretty much.
So I don't have to worry about. I drew the word balloons in there just so I know where they'd be placed. That's the letterer's job. I'll let him deal with that. So my job, though, to draw the character. So put that there. He's got that big grin, right? And I had his tongue hanging out. So we'll get to that.
Damn. I guess my Doc Ock, he's got 6 arms instead of, I don't know if it was 4 or 8, but.
Well, it's 4, but the tentacles.
Yeah. 4
Oh, okay.
mechanical, and then his 2 arms and 2 legs.
Yeah.
Well, this is the Zander universe since they got the multiverse. This is the Zander universe version.
No problem. If you want to add more tentacles to him, I think that'd make him scared, to be honest with you.
Still gonna
Like
give him
now
his
he's Doc
classical.
Ock because he has 8 tentacles.
Who's this imposter?
Yeah, right.
Who the fuck is this
Why has he
guy?
got more arms than me? That's crazy.
Still gonna have that classic look because I'm going off of memory.
For Venom, I tried to Todd McFarlane, I think he was the best artist that drew Venom.
Whenever I try to draw Venom's mouth, I always think of like a uneven shark's mouth
Yeah.
with his teeth, because he needs to be jagged and gnarly looking just to emphasize how twisted and evil he is.
Oh yeah. Oh, drawn on the wrong layer. I gotta stop doing that, Nick. You know better. You're a professional. I should fix that. Fix that. All right, cool.
Oops. So, what are you working on, John?
Oh, I'm doing the Spider-Man and Doc Ock as well.
Oh man,
Awesome.
I don't want to break form.
I've got my rough laid out. I just got a matter of adding details and stuff now.
Awesome.
Oh, why did I do that? That was crazy.
Have you ever seen how Kyle Holtz draws Venom?
I haven't.
When you get a chance, look it up. Holy shit!
Kyle Hoax. Okay.
He's one of my favorite artists. He's kind of like Kelly Jones and like Mark Teixeira or Bernie Wrightson, but he still has his own style like that as well. I've got an entire section of my collection is Kyle Holtz. If you like what he does with Venom, I think you would love his Carnage.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're doing Carnage, what I like about Carnage is that he's not as bulky.
Yeah. Well, I've seen him draw Carnage, and he looks straight up demonic. That's how insane the detail is.
We got a new comment. I really need to look up from the screen every once in a while. I'm hosting this shit. Hey, Mouse, what's going on, brother?
Most of my inking lives are
Mouse.
me silent.
That's because I posted pictures of you drawing.
Oh, is that what you did?
I did.
Why would you do such a thing?
Because I'm awesome behind the scenes chick.
Okay, well, we'll work on that title.
Well, I was going to say a different word, but I'm trying not to do that.
Bish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bish.
I said it real close. I was like, bish. I'm the king of that.
B-I-S-S. Bis.
You said it, though. You
But you said it, right?
Bitch.
Bis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I said it. Then I got to Taylor's, the place I knew she wanted to go anyway.
You said it out loud, though.
But you said
Remember,
it out loud.
we may not actually be it, but we're trying to at least look like responsible adults.
Sort of.
Man.
Not so much, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I want to look like an adult.
No. Growing old is not a choice. Growing up is. I'm a 45-year-old man that draws comics, and I love every minute that I get to do this.
Well, you've seen my car, Nick, so that's proof enough. I don't plan on growing up.
Oh, no, you're straight up living in the 90s. Yours is a 90s Mustang, right?
Yeah.
All right, so drawing him like a damn linebacker. So this is down and dirty because I'm trying to get as much of this done as I can within an hour, because that's usually how long the show goes. Maybe one day we'll do a marathon. Get really crazy with the cheese whiz, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, yeah, it's been a while since I've tried to time myself, but depending on what's going on in the page, I can get about a page and a half done in a day.
That's pretty good though. It's pretty good.
I read
Yeah, like
somewhere in a lot of my drawing books that was like kind of the industry standard, is that if you can't do at least this fast, that you're
right.
not ready. So I've always tried to push myself to do it.
Yeah, learning little shortcuts, finding the cheat code, it saves time. I usually find out that you save time on the front end while you're prepping everything, That's
Yeah.
really where you're going to save time. If you have it all laid out, ready to go, and you're just like, all right, cool, now we're rocking and rolling, we go full scale.
Well, I find I do most of my thinking like on the thumbnail stage. By the time I get
Yeah.
to do it on the Bristol board, I've pretty much figured out what I want to do, except for whatever fine tuning needs to get done.
Right, and that's what the thumbnail stage is for. It's to work out all the bugs, the kinks. Not those kind of kinks, but you know what I'm saying.
That's a different kind.
That's a different kind altogether, my friend. So. Give him all these little neck veins. To be honest, I don't draw Venom enough. I think that's something I need to fix. I've got his chesticles going. All right. John, you want to give us a highlight of what you're working on here? Hold on, let me figure this out. That's not right.
I've pretty much got the page laid out. I'm just trying to fix a certain Spider-Man's head right now.
My boy Kenny Huggins. Didn't you make a comic? Nick, if you made a comic, bro, I'd definitely buy it. Yeah, I've made a few of them. I got like 10 titles under my belt. Let me just post a link here where you can buy it. Get back to banners. Banners. Okay. You can find all of my comic books right here at this link I'm sending. ApogeeComics.com. Banner. And here you go.
It's down and dirty.
Ooh, all right. John's putting his unique style onto it. I like it.
Noise.
I will know John's style
I even did some
anywhere in
lettering,
the
too.
frickin' world. Especially when he inks it, because he's going to put them heavy blacks on there, bro. Hey, Rick, how's it going, man? All right. Got some. Yeah, what's up, baby?
Do you have any of those videos?
Any what?
Did any of those videos download?
They're all downloaded. I'll get them to you. Hold on, because I can't do that stuff. Here, we're gonna go to. Oh shit! I removed him somehow. Oh no! Now he's here. Now he's here. I'm gonna focus on Zanders for a little bit. There we go.
I see why he picked Spider-Man.
Why is that, John?
It's all over his wall.
Yeah. That's damn near the only character I used to draw back in the day for a long time.
He's obviously a fan.
Yes, sir. I'm a huge Todd McFarlane and Alex Ross. Those are my like go-to inspirations as far as art and all, Todd McFarlane really the business too. Beyond that,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, his shit. I could go in on that. So yeah, let's see. I got my scene here.
Oh, you went with the old school '80s Doc Ock
Yeah, it's like a mix between. Yeah,
with
it's a
his
mix
bowl
between.
haircut.
Exactly. Little bowl haircut. Trying to give it the. So yeah, it's whatever the dialogue here is, but Doc Ock's talking major shit, trying to get him off, trying to sneak attack him, and then Spider-Man's spider senses go off, and I think that's actually what I'm about to do here too. Is like give the spider senses right here, just to kind of show something's about to happen.
I've actually got those old Marvel tryout books, and the first one came out in the '80s. It was a Spider-Man Doc Ock story.
It was what, sir?
Spider-Man and Doc Ock.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was Doc Ock's kind of low key always been one of my favorite characters. The design and also too just the menacingness of the reality of like his abilities. Like, dude, you could literally destroy anything you want. That's why I like the Tobey Maguire #2 movie. I like that one. You got to really see it in like live action, like what that would look like. Let's see. So,
Got some real talent going on here on this live feed.
yeah,
I
man, I
applaud you for
appreciate
not
you guys.
being crap the artist.
Nick, I'll
Yeah.
show you guys the that tryout book I was telling you about.
Which one? Hold on. Let me let's focus.
I was talking about.
Yeah. Ooh, look at
This,
that.
this is the
Oh,
first one.
tight.
I remember
My-
those. You can find them in comic book shops. Like they gave you a little script, right? And you drew the
Yeah,
pages
yeah,
and you
it's
sent
in
it into
here.
Marvel like a portfolio review.
What?
Yeah,
That's
what I did. My first few Marvel book or Marvel pages I did were out of this book.
I got an X-Men one of those, and I got
Yeah, that's volume
denied
2.
so hard. Yeah,
That came out
I
in the
got denied
90s.
hard. I get denied so hard on that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got this volume 2.
Yeah, that's the one. My
That's tight, dude.
I couldn't do Gambit for some reason. Gambit just
He's a
escaped
pain
me
in the
because I
butt
didn't
to
know how to draw. I mean, I knew how to draw them for like pinups and stuff, but I like action sequences. I was like, man, what do I do with this dude?
That's one thing that a lot of people that want to draw comics don't realize is that you got to be able to draw different body types and different body language. Gambit and Spider-Man have a similar build. Gambit might be a little bit bigger, but they have a similar build, but they still move differently.
Yeah. You can do some of the acrobatics with Gambit that you can do with Spider-Man, but some of that bendy stuff, like where he's all contorted, like Todd McFarlane took it to a whole other level.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Whenever I draw Spider-Man, I go like full cartoon mode as far as how he moves and stuff.
Oh man, that's the wrong one. Hold on.
It's one of my favorite books in my collection.
So Rick Moody had the Spider-Man, but not the X-Men. Did they make a volume 3?
Not that I'm aware of, because the Spider-Man came out in the 80s.
And then the X-Men came out in the 90s.
Yeah, once they upgraded technology, they started using digital color. They had released the X-Men.
Yeah, because that's obviously like the 90, 91 lineup. I don't know if they used but Jim Lee's artwork for that one.
I want to say that was T-Bear, I think, was inside. It's been a
Yeah.
while since I looked inside. Yeah, I think it was T-Bear.
T-Bear was he was close. He was like an in-between between, what was it? Not Casada. Cassidy?
No, Sean Cassidy came in like long time after.
Yeah, like in the
I
early
always looked at
2000s.
T-Bear as someone that tried to emulate Jim Lee.
Yeah, he was close, but just like anybody that tries to like catch that, fly that close to the sun, always come up short.
Well, he's done some other stuff where he stood out more.
Yeah.
It was a T-Bear, or maybe it was
Oh yeah, Mark Bagley won he won the X-Men
Brandon
one or the Spider-Man one?
Brandon Peterson. Maybe I think he did it.
Yeah,
It was either T-Bear or Brandon Peterson that did the inside.
I would have loved to have seen a Finch. I'd love to
He
see a
draws
Finch, dude.
a fabulous Spider-Man. As far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
anything he draws is great.
I would have loved to have seen him draw the X-Men.
I've got a few issues somewhere.
Stephen Platt, I've always loved him on Moon Knight. And he does a good Batman also. So does Finch.
For me, though, Finch is one of those people that just anything he draws is just awesome. Some people are better at drawing some things than others, like Bart Sears. For me, he's always been better at drawing men. But then, like Michael Turner, I think he drew women better.
Didn't he do the Hulk for a while?
Probably.
Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of Hulk drawings from him and Doc Samson. Always enjoyed that. Who's another one? Arthur Adams.
Ed McGuinness did a great Hulk as well.
Yeah. Ed McGuinness, yeah, he does some good stuff. McGuinness did Superman?
Yeah, he did that Batman and Superman story.
Yeah, World's Finest.
I think so, yeah. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Mark Bagley was in the Army or something before he went to Marvel Comics.
I don't know much about Mark other than his artwork.
I read somewhere at some point he was in the Army, and I think that's when he was drawing like we did during our free time, or we were on guard duty or something. Try to stay awake. He was drawing.
You guys were both in the military?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Man. Unfortunately, we've got about 6 minutes. And then we're going to wind it up, and we'll show what we got so far. Man, I used to be faster than this. What the hell?
She said.
No, it used to last longer than this. That's what she used to say. You used to last longer than this. But my fingers cramp up, and it's getting close to bedtime.
My tongue's not as long as Venom. I get it.
Oh no, that thing is still my tongue is still long as Venom's.
Oh shit.
If you were looking, but you probably weren't. You're gonna have to catch it on the replay.
Oh, no, I see.
Yeah. Here we go. One of my friends commenting here. You're getting old, Nick. Yes, I know. I got the grays in the beard. My good knee is now my bad knee. My bad knee is my worst knee. I'm yelling at kids to get off my lawn. Thank you, Chris, for that reminder that I am indeed old. But I'm not as old as Chad, who's a guy that we play hockey with. I used to play hockey with when I lived up north.
Oh, that picture of Taskmaster I sent you this morning?
Yeah.
I'm almost done. I've got to do like the last bit of rendering on it, but other than that, I'm done with it.
What'd you do with the background?
I just kept it simple.
You kept it simple, just some like debris and explosions and shit. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
It's coming.
I like him because he's kind of goblin looking.
Yeah, Hobgoblin's always been cool. One of my favorite comics was Darkhawk when I was a kid,
Oh
and
yeah,
in the very beginning of the series, that's when I caught it. Hobgoblin was one of the first ones he had to fight.
right.
Never drawn him though.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever drawn Taskmaster. I've drawn Green
Neither have I.
Goblin a lot when I was a kid. Yeah,
I've never
man,
drawn
it's like,
Hobgoblin. Now I kind of want to. But
yeah,
the
maybe we'll do that.
challenge,
We can do that next week.
the
We'll,
challenge I'm having on these are index card size.
uh-huh.
So I'm trying to keep it at a lower price point, so I don't go trying not to go all out with every little bit of detail that I can put in there.
Yeah. I got the hiccups. Sorry. I'm liking what everybody's doing. Maybe that's what I should do. Is just like I'm doing now. I'll just host and you guys just draw your asses off. Get us some notoriety so that we can get our next funding campaigns funded really quick. Add that to the marketing stream.
I don't know, man. With that last one on Indiegogo, we were right until the very end. We were like, come on, just trying to get it to fund.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a hard push for me towards the end too, which is going to be hard to do because I'll be out of town. I won't have all my resources with me, so I'll have to do the best I can.
Where are you going to be gone?
Florida. I got some work stuff I got to do there for about 2 weeks, so
Nice.
I'll be there in the. You guys are still in like the 80s and shit as far as temperature.
Yeah, I'm still wearing t-shirt and shorts.
Oh, that's kind of my uniform anyway. This is from Chris. I think this was directed towards you, John. Looks like he's stepping out of the page.
Yeah, a little
Chris has
bit.
been not only a friend but a fan of mine for a while.
I like to add some dimension where I can.
Some depth, some perspective. Oh, that's another thing we talk about real quick. John, do you do like your grid layout when you do perspective, or do you just like kind of just wing it?
I try to make a conscious effort. I don't sit there and draw it out because it takes a lot of time, but I do try to at least think about what I'm doing before I draw on the Bristol board because this stuff's expensive. So yeah. I try to do all the planning and stuff like that but at the same time though, I also use a colored lead.
Yeah. Usually you use red. You're rocking the purple now?
Well, this one's purple because I have on my last deployment, I ordered a container of colored lead, and it's got pretty much the rainbow in there.
Oh, wow.
And, some of them work better than others, and some of them are just too light for me to see. So right now, I'm going through them and trying to weed out the ones that I don't want. But none of these colors really show up when I go to ink anything or when I go to scan.
What's your favorite one so far as color?
I work in layers. I have like a red that I started using for like the basic shapes and everything. And then when I go to add, say, uniform details to the figure, then I'll use a blue. And for some reason in my head, using the two colors makes sense. And it helps me figure out where my dimension is going to be. So I still use, I have like a mechanical pencil that I have for blues. I have blue lead. And then this red one right here that I just use whatever color I have, and I use it to add my depth and all that.
Awesome. Yeah, I see you use the red quite a bit.
Yeah, I've still got some red lead. But
Nicholas Gears joined us, the creator of Tin Soldier. Which
I've seen some pictures of that. I've seen some pictures of that book. That's an awesome looking book.
Little behind the scenes, Tin Soldier and the Phantom Hawk are going to team up in one of his issues. Yeah, hey, one of mine, one of his. I was originally going to draw it, and then life got in the way, and he got tired of waiting. I don't know, and I don't blame him. He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to move forward with this issue, so I'm going to go." He's like, "Cool." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it's cool." You got temporary usage rights, bro. I want 10% though. No, I'm just kidding. Well, maybe 5. An argument can be made for 3. But no,
Hey, if
it's
you
it's
guys
a
need
very
any
stellar book
pinups
if you haven't
drawn,
checked it
I
out.
know a guy.
Yeah, I know a dude. I know a guy that knows a guy that killed a guy once.
Yeah. And I
All right,
know where the
Xander, what?
body's hidden.
And that's the most important part of the job, knowing where the bodies are in. Xander, what are you rocking as far as equipment, like pencils wise?
Basic big pencil, what's it called, mechanical pencil.
Mechanical
I
pencil?
Yeah, I hate the eraser on it, so I always use
Oh,
the
I take them
polygon.
out every time I get a set.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
take out the eraser. And I
The
use
eraser's wet.
that other eraser that you have too. That's a good one,
Oh man,
Yeah, these
I've
ones.
got
especially as many mistakes as I make.
different size erasers here, and
Oh,
then
see,
I
that's
still
what
got the damn kneaded stuff as well for like when I big fuck ups.
yeah,
So
that's
I've
what.
got
Yeah,
different size erasers.
we
For
are not a
different size
kid friendly
mistakes.
show, so you can drop the F word every once in a while.
Well, fuckity fuck. There, got it out of my
Okay,
way.
there went our
Motherfucker,
PG-13
motherfucker.
rating.
Oh
Christ.
dang it!
A la verga. See, swear in a foreign language, then only certain people will be able to understand it. Ooh, busted. I'm telling mom. Actually, that's true. I ain't telling nobody shit. Snitches get stitches.
Unless it's an accidental snitch.
Unless what?
It's an accidental snitch.
You
I
are the
think
queen of
I
the
think they still can
accidental
get stitches. I think
snitch.
the accidental
It was
snitches can get
unintentional.
stitches.
They get small
But
stitches. They get smaller stitches.
I
but
I
then the
didn't
still
stitch,
mean
but the
thoroughly
to.
stitches will
believe
still be
I didn't
intentional.
know I was snitching.
Yeah. When you're intentional, you get a scar. That's what you get. A big one.
I didn't know I was snitching because I thought the other party told the third
And
party.
then you snitched, and then who you snitched on denied it, and then you just brought in a giant Greyhound bus and drove over a few times.
It was
I
unintentional.
still thoroughly believe if there weren't
It was
pictures, it didn't happen.
unintentional.
Oh yeah, Pixar
There were
didn't happen.
pictures. It didn't happen. There was no video
It
recording.
was
I don't even know.
unintentional snitching.
Oh my god, I had 2 people comment from my YouTube channel, which is very small, and I'm proud of that. I've had because usually when I do these live streams, it's all from like Facebook Live. It's from like the Nick Garber art page, the pro page. So I'm always happy to see some YouTube comments on here.
Yeah,
That's what I love about StreamYard.
I've got my YouTube page too, but for the life of me, I don't know what to do with it because I don't want to do the same thing everybody else is doing. So I've got all of one video on there right now.
Well, here's what I've learned. Like if you're doing like live drawing things like that,
Yeah,
people seem to be more interested because everybody podcast. I know I'm on like 3 of them, including this one. Some are more successful than others, but when you're doing like it's almost like an instructional thing. You know, people like to watch people draw and how they tackle certain problems or things like that. Because here we are. First time I've ever done this, so this has really been working out. Like, give like a little short assignment, like today, 3-panel, page with dialogue, action, conclusion. And everyone's just kind of just rocking it out of the park right now.
Oh, I never did show you what my conclusion was.
Pull them up on big screen.
Talk shit, pal.
No, talk shit now.
Oh, talk shit. Oh, okay. No, sorry. Hold on. I had to zoom in. Yeah.
I have to figure out
Hold on.
whatever Spider-Man.
Hold it back up there,
adventures are
John.
gonna
Put it
be.
back up. Put it back up so I can put you on the big screen here, bud. There you go. Go back a little bit so it can. Oh, there you go. Talk shit, pal. Now, I like pal now. Lower it a little bit. I want to see that top. I want to see that punch. Ooh. I wish we did more time. We're already kind of over the mark by 5 minutes, but that's fine.
Well, I can keep working on this and show it next time or something if you want.
Maybe we'll do a series. I do like showing everybody what I might do is send you guys a message so you can prep it. So,
hell yeah,
all the layouts are done, and then you just go into like the final render. I think that would be awesome. Oh, that's not what I wanted here. There we go. Equal parts for equal artists. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we'll probably do that next time. Now that I think about it, I think that'd work better. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. I mean, that'd be cool to do like an inking one.
Yeah, might just do a series of it. That's pretty cool. That way everybody gets their name out there. Maybe we'll bring in some other artists if they're interested. If you're interested and you're watching this, even on a replay, send me a message. I'll schedule it. What I'd like to start doing, and I always think of these things when I'm getting ready to go away for a couple of weeks and can't do it. So end of October, because I come back October 20th. So I'll set up. I would like to do, I don't know, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Maybe do like an hour, hour and a half. We'll knock out some artwork. We'll display our stuff. Have some guests. Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. What do you guys think?
That'd be super cool.
Wednesday sounds good.
I
Wednesday
gotta.
sounds good. All right.
You said Wednesday.
Monday,
Yeah.
Wednesday, and Saturday.
Is that next week? Is that what we're gonna do?
No, it's not going to be till the end of the month, bro.
Okay.
When I have like my full setup and I'm not trying to hodgepodge something together to make it work and the sound quality shit, you know.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah. My bad. I just missed out on that last part there.
No worries, man. I like your
But yeah,
enthusiasm though.
I'm definitely down. I appreciate it because for me, I am gonna be creating my own independent comic books regardless. That's what I'm in the middle of doing.
Right.
But it's my thing is like my whole career is a crash course on figuring it out. But by the time I'm in motion, it's 7 years later. I'm doing my art. So for
Yeah, but
me,
you're
I
still doing it. That's the important part.
exactly, man. So if it's 5 years later, oh shit, I know how to make real comic books. You know what I mean? That's where it's coming down to. So I like this. This was real helpful for me because even just the mechanical pencil talk and showing the materials and stuff that helps because I know how to draw. I know how to do all this, but to
Right.
work with people that do this, that's super cool, man. So I appreciate you guys even having me on here for real.
No, man, that's like I tried not to discourage. Everybody's an up and comer, I think. I consider myself still an up and comer. I'm always learning, even though I got a lot of things down, but there's always room for learning and getting better and developing. So um, I like being able to display other people's work, especially when they have an interest in the industry, because a lot of these guys get in here and they're trying to make a quick buck. They just want to make money. They see guys like Eric July make like $3 million on an issue, you know.
Right.
So I like to give a platform. That's what I want to use this platform for, and I want to grow the platform. So anybody watching, make sure you follow me on everything. YouTube, look up Nick Garber Art on YouTube or Apogee Comics on YouTube. Like and subscribe on both. Zander, where can they find you on the World Wide Web here?
So Instagram is probably the best place to get me at because I don't really do social media, not until I need it. But Instagram Xander6 Comics. That's where I'm at. If you are San Diego local, you probably already met me out there at the pop-up shops, all the street fairs. I'm starting to do my own comic book events. Apogee will
You got
definitely.
something coming up on the 28th of October, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We actually got
Why don't you take a minute or two and pimp that?
most definitely, man. This is the flyer for the event. I don't know if it's gonna come out clear on the thing
No,
there,
it looks
but
pretty clear.
awesome. So Apogee will definitely be a part of that. Actually, as a special guest feature, gonna have the publisher himself, the man behind the genius himself. He's gonna talk
Great
about
value, Stan Lee.
exactly, man. No, I have real life legends coming
John,
through,
the
and
same thing as John.
I'm talking to one right now, and so I'm actually very grateful for that as well because I've been in the hustle with these shows and these pop-ups, and now I'm starting to do my own. And oh yeah, there we go. I'm starting to do my own shows, and I'm very excited because comic book shops are opening up to me. Dispensaries
Now,
are
Xander, let me ask something real quick. Are you
yeah.
going to plan to do a lot more shows with comic book centric shows like you have planned for later this month?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. So November I got one. December I got one. I'm actually doing a cannabis and comics event sometime. I believe either November or December. I haven't locked it in yet.
Okay.
But the thing is about what I'm doing is it's called the Xander Six Comics Tour. It's a tour because it's the subtitles The Road to Comic Con LA. That's gonna be my last show. That's gonna be my first Comic Con I've ever done as an independent artist. So I'll
You're
have
gonna
my
have
store
such
there.
a fun time.
Man, I'm super excited, man, because
It's
I
totally different on the other side of the table, brother. Let me tell you.
Yes, it is.
awesome, man. Oh shit, I'm excited. You guys have no idea how excited I am, and
Oh,
so
we know,
Oh, I
we
know.
know,
yeah,
we
man,
know,
yeah,
brother.
man. So that's
I
why,
would
like,
I would chase that dragon if I could every time to have that feeling of the first con I ever did on the other side of that table. I
ooh,
would. Oh, that is such a
oh,
great feeling. I'm jealous and envious because there's no time like the first time.
well, you know what my goal is, man, is with anyone who how long ever they've been in the game. I want to create a foundation and a platform so that every time that we do something, it feels like the first time you've ever done anything. Even if you've been to Comic Con 10 years in
I
a row,
love it.
when you're a part of my situation, we're bringing our own Comic Con, our own event to Comic Con. That's how I'm looking at it. So yes, I am planning on doing more shows. This one's my first one as with the magnitude I've done. So I'm super excited. I got Marvel's Punisher's actor Jason Moore. Um,
Nice.
yes, sir. So he's actually a comic book publisher too. His comic is called A Prayer for the Hunted. So I'm excited
I
about
have
having
heard
him
of that
there.
one.
What was that, sir?
I have heard of that one. Prayer for the
Yeah,
Hunted.
man. Yeah, man. So he was passing them out at Comic Con outside the building. He was passing a whole bunch out. So I don't know if you were there that weekend.
No, I wasn't. I was. If you saw a border patrol boat outside the backside of the convention hall, you would have saw me. I'm
Oh,
working
okay.
that day. My partner was like, "Why are you driving over there? Why are we hanging out over here so long?" I'm like, "Cause I want to see Comic Con. This is the closest I'm going to get this year." He
Hell
said,
yeah, man. Yeah,
and he called me a nerd.
I got there for free on some like magical shit, man. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I got to meet Todd McFarlane. I got to
Oh,
meet
nice.
Rob Liefeld. Because Image is my number one. Of course, I would love to work for Marvel, DC. I would love to work for really any kind of comic book publisher, independent publisher, especially. But Image is like the one that I have posted on my wall. That's the vision goal. So
Yeah,
my
they
plan.
definitely took over the House of Ideas moniker from Marvel. That's I remember because I was there. I was there when it was founded. I was there at the very beginning. I've got original Youngblood, Spawn, Bloodstrike,
I have like
Cyberforce.
the first 10 of Cyberforce.
Yeah. No, I was there every week at the comic book shop. Rob, oddly enough, who that was the guy who owned the shop, got tired of seeing me. He was like, "Dick, don't you have a life?" I'm like, "I'm 13. No."
No. The answer is no, motherfucker.
Answer is no. Now give me my fix, man. You got any more of them Image comics? You got any more of those?
Exactly. Exactly. And so for me, being 26, I was born during the time period that it was popping. So I got to really see the outcome of it just by being alive right now. So for me, when it came to fruition, when I started kind of learning who everyone was, I go, wow,
Yeah.
man, all these people have really been in my life my whole life. Um,
Yeah.
and that's how I look at it. Comic books to me is like a spiritual experience, and so um, I don't know, man. I'm enjoying it as it's happening because I've been out here hustling for so long. I know how to grind. I know how to make my own. But I want to do this thing in comics, and I want to change it. I want to change how it feels. I want the creators, like of all magnitudes, to be champion in a way, not worship, but just champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, no, Kevin Eastman really created this, and
Yeah.
we're gonna honor him.
It wasn't me. I
So
didn't do it.
your goals is to try and bring back those early days of Image where the artists were, well, not necessarily artists, but even the writers were the rock stars of that generation.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes,
where you
sir.
had lines out the damn door. Easy E himself was waited in line for like 4 hours to meet Rob Liefeld.
Yes, sir.
You
And
know,
so,
so
and
I did
Rob
enjoy that
Liefeld,
time frame.
right,
I
and but
met
Rob
I met
Liefeld said in
Mark
something, man.
Silvestri.
What was that, man?
So I met Mark Silvestri at was it Golden Apple Comics? I believe it was in L.A. When Cyblade
Been
had
there.
her miniseries come out. I got to meet Mark Silvestri and Bat, and then a few other people. There was a line. I mean, this was years after they had established themselves, but still, there was still a line to meet him, and all you got to really do was maybe shake his hand and get his autograph.
Right. Right. And that's what I'm saying, man. I want to bring it back to that feeling. Rob Liefeld said himself, I don't think we're ever going to see what happened in comics like what we did. And you're right.
Yeah.
You're right, but you're also wrong. And no disrespect in that, because you're not going to see what happened in what you guys did. You're going to see a new era of it and what that looks like in today's form. And for me, like I said, no matter what age we are, I'm going to highlight, like Tom McFarlane, like I'm going to damn near, my vision is to damn near turn him into Stan Lee, how we look at him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because he put in that work. He's devoted his 30 years for this character, developed it, and when it becomes the biggest thing in the world, because it's gonna have its resurgence, it already is. We're gonna
Oh,
go,
wait
oh
till the movie
man,
comes out.
Oh,
Jamie
it's
Foxx,
never
that's
not
gonna
been
go
hot.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's gonna go crazy,
Well,
man.
and the
That
thing with
movie.
Todd, I was going to say something about Rob. Rob he's obviously a force in the industry. He's been doing steady work for the last 30 something years, 33 years, I think, and 31 years. Sorry. I don't math well. So I'm an artist. But
Yes, sir.
he does have some crazy hot takes, man. And thank God you're not in all the other social medias like Twitter, because he took to Twitter and said that he drew the best Wolverine compared to Jim Lee.
Oh snap!
Now,
Oh,
usually I'll
so
like and share stuff, but I like and share it, and I dragged him.
yeah.
I was like,
So
dude,
so
bruh,
Rob likes to talk that shit. That's awesome though, man.
he does. He likes to stir the pot. Now, I don't know if he was just joking, kind of like being sarcastic, because you know who the king is, baby, is Jim.
Come on, man.
Come on, bro,
Yes, sir.
sit down.
Come on.
Hey, you go home, Rob. You're drunk, obviously, you know. And then Mark Brooks came on and goes, "I draw the best Wolverine." I'm like, nobody's listening to you with your copy and painting ass, you know. So that was funny with one of his Rob observations.
Yeah,
Todd.
man.
Todd is a steady force, man. All he is such a giant in the game. The dude's improving on the most mundane shit. And
Yes, he
what I
is.
mean by that, it's not a pejorative or me dogging him or anything like that. Like he knows how he is with anatomy, drawing people, drawing creatures, drawing all kinds of crazy stuff. And then like he got bored with that. He's like, yeah, I know how to draw that. I can draw it in my sleep. And then he started focusing on details in the background, and that's something a lot of artists don't do. Like he reached such a point, and that was in the mid '90s. He's like, oh man, look how I'm drawing these bricks. I'm putting these extra crack in these bricks. Look how I'm drawing this window pane right here. He's getting in deep into the weeds, and he's been doing that for holy crap. He came on the scene in like 86, 87. So he's had a long, lustrous career, and the guy's always building, he's always hustling. And that's the energy I like to see. And you have that same budding energy as a young force, getting into the business. And we need more of that. We need more people not just trying to pimp their stuff or put their stories up, but to share that energy for everybody to come on, man, hop on board. Let's go on this crazy ride. And I dig
Exactly,
that.
man.
I'm getting old and grumpy, man. So
You are old and grumpy.
You know
I
what,
can
man?
get grumpier. I could get
I'm a
grumpier.
grumpy individual
Bet.
too. I'm a very serious individual, and I think the
Kick your ass out.
bubbliness or the
Kick you out of the
ambition,
office.
it paints a picture, but it really
Right?
comes down to, like, I have no other option for what I'm gonna do in my life. There's no other option. My only option is to fulfill this dream, and so yeah, like I do relate to an individual like Todd. Like when I came
Love
across
you too.
him as an individual, it became well understood for me that, oh, this is a mirror to me. Like the fact that he has 30 something years, and I not missed it, but I didn't know it was him. I didn't know
Right.
Venom was him. I didn't know
Oh, that was
Spawn,
all
that
him,
scary
baby.
character, was him. So those toys that I'm not gonna buy because they got blood and guts, and I'm terrified of them. I didn't know that was what he put into it. And then yeah, you see the visionary behind it. You see the fact that Image, it outlasted everything, and it will outlast everything in the sense because look how many people it empowered. It empowered an individual like yourself to do your own thing. That's my point. Like that's thank you, Todd, but also thank you, Nick, for doing the next step of it. And so because
I'm
look what
one
you're
of
doing right now.
thousands that took the same inspiration point from Todd and anybody from the original Image crew and decided, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing. My safest hands are always my own, especially when I'm creating my own intellectual properties. I try to, latch on and kind of like join up with other publishers, and then they had ideas about what I should be doing with my stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I had a little bit of a Todd moment a couple of years ago with another company. I won't name their names. We're still friends, and they put out great stuff, but they had some issues with some of the artwork that I was doing in one of my comic books. They were like, "Oh, it's not. Can we take that out of there?" I'm like, "No, this guy's having a PTSD moment in the shower." As somebody with PTSD from fighting a damn war, I've had a freak out or two in the shower. You know,
Right.
you're over there, you're relaxing, and then that intrusive thought comes back from the past of really wicked and horrible shit that I use in my comics. And then I'm like, no, I'm not getting rid of that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm out. They're like, what do you mean you're out? I'm like, I don't know how I could say it, maybe in another couple of languages that I know, but I'm out. Like, Apogee is going to be Apogee. No one else is going to have any say in what Apogee does or how Apogee conducts its business. That's how we are. We pride ourselves on being a creator-owned business. We don't. It's pretty much like I set it up as much as I could as Image from the early days. There was a documentary called The Image Revolution. It used to be on Amazon. I think now you got to pay
Love
for it.
it. I love it.
But I watch that probably every month um, to pretty much do a course correction. If I feel that I'm going off off course of what I originally planned for this company, I watch it and it sets me right back on the rack, right on the tracks. Train keeps going. So
That's the vibe I get, bro. That's the vibe I get from it. I love that. I love that doc series because it's for me a piece of wisdom when I need it, is to like, okay, just all the stories, but Todd's of just the never giving up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The and then yeah, like everyone on the other side of it. The what's the gentleman's name? He's older. He was an older cat back then too, but he did like independent comics well before Image. He
yeah.
was kind of the one.
Jim Valentino.
Yes,
His big name run was on for Image he
Guardians
did
of the
Shadowhawk,
Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you, John. I was just about to say that. That was his big run with characters most people don't even recognize anymore because they were like side characters in the movie.
so he
So
did Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, in the 80s, and it was pretty big. I mean, he was part of that 500,000 copy run that Jim was doing with X-Men #1, which I have that hanging on my wall, signed by Jim, signed by Scott, signed by Chris Claremont. So I got the art crew and the writing staff for that book on that issue, and it's getting buried with me.
Hell yeah!
I mean, my body's getting cremated, but that is going to be strapped on to the urn.
What?
Right.
The X-Men #1 I got on the wall.
Oh, I was just gonna put you in a whiskey bottle and throw you out to sea with a couple bucks and see where you wind up.
Okay, nothing under $5,000 for that issue.
That's what I'm selling it.
So, or hold on to it and put it
It
in a
went.
burn bottle.
It went from I'm gonna be buried with it to $5,000. No less
Well,
than $5,000.
she promised to put me in a whiskey bottle and dump me out to sea, and I found that more enticing.
That's love. That's
There'll
love.
be a letter that says, "Give me a call. Let me know where I wind up with a couple dollars. So if they need to use PayPal, they can."
You've put a lot of thought into my death.
You
You
better be nice to her.
I put no thought into your death. No, I'm going to spread you into the ocean. What else do you want? You're going to be in a Folgers can? Folgers can. I'm not buying an urn. I'm going to get you a Folgers can, like in the Great Lebowski, or the Big Lebowski, and then I'm going to take you out to the pier, just like Grandma, and I'm going to throw it out, and it's all going to just blow back into my face.
Like Grandma.
Yeah. That's what happened when I tried to spread my grandmother's ashes out there on the IB Pier.
She did not make it to the water.
She kind of made it to the water. Some of it went into my mouth.
Oh snap!
Yeah, because the wind was going west to east. I didn't check the weather that day, so I was like, "All right, dump it," and it was like, and it was almost like that scene of the Big Lebowski. It's like. Thank God I had my sunglasses on. Sorry, Grandma, I failed you. My cousins are doing all this sweet shit, like climbing up these mountains in Oregon and dumping her in the ashes, so she has a view. And I'm like, I'm going to dump her out to sea. And I toss it out and I'm like, oh, I failed. It's not like you can sweep the shit up. I was on a pier.
Yeah, it's not like you don't get too many chances.
Yeah, you only get one shot at that, and I screwed it up.
Nah, man, it was meant to be like that.
But she was such a forgiving, woman that she's like, well, I'm kind of in the ocean, She would have looked at the bright side of it. I'm mostly there.
She would have been like, yeah, no, I figured this from you.
Sting your lungs.
Yeah. It's like, Nick, I had such high hopes for you. What happened? I became a comic book artist. This is how supportive she was. Like, she was on a fixed income because she had been retired for like 20 years, and she bought a lot of my comic books. I tried to give them to her, and she said no. She goes, no, I'll buy them from you because I support you and what you're doing.
That's love.
Same thing my mom said. So.
They're right here.
Awesome, man.
Huh? They're right here. Yeah, I signed them for her. Yeah, the very first. This is from the first run.
Oh snap!
Oh man, I don't
know. How
know.
long ago was that?
That was 2012. So that was a while ago. I've been in the game for a little bit.
That's awesome, man.
How
many books have you produced?
Produced or drawn?
I guess produced, and then how many have you drawn on?
Okay, so let's go with produced. Phantom Hawk, Volume 1, Issues 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 5 right there. The Crimson Guardians, Issue 1. Phantom Hawk, Volume 2, Issue 1. Solarum Prime, Issue 1. Bengali, Issue 1, 2, and 3. So we're looking about like 11, 12 books I've produced. What I've drawn, I drew the first 5. Oh, that's not true because issue 3 was drawn by somebody else. So the first 4 issues of Volume 1 of Phantom Hawk. And then I drew the Crimson Guardians issue 1. I drew a few pages in War Drums. Okay, so you can throw that on the produced side too. So we're at 6. And then I do at least a cover on every book. I try to be involved in every book, have some of my artwork on there. So interior art though, first 4 issues of Phantom Hawk and the Crimson Guardians, so that's 5 issues. And I'm currently working on issue 2 of Phantom Hawk Volume 2, the Crimson Guardians issue 2, and Corvid and Sparrow, which is a female dynamic duo type. That'll probably be going out. Oh wait, I got Quickwire coming out here in probably about the next 10 months. That's my. I realized I didn't have a speedster, so I found someone and we developed a speedster.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah.
So found a guy that I'd like. I want like the wit and the comedy of what you think a speedster comic like The Flash is, but not Barry Allen, because Barry Allen was never funny. It was always Wally West that was funny. And then Solarum Prime's kind of like my homage to the Green Lantern Corps and the Nova Corps.
What about you, John? How many books have you worked on and produced?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
I have
Shit,
a
John, 4 more and you get a set of steak knives.
woohoo! I have a couple that I've done pinups in. Uh, I did a couple more that I did some concept work for. And then I have one anthology that I was a part of. And then my first full book was Exodus Z, which is that zombie book we were talking about.
Yep. So he's got a pretty good pedigree of papers going on there. What I love most about this, if you build the fan base right and you tell them compelling and interesting stories with dynamic artwork, they will follow you no matter what. They will wait years for the next issue. And I saw that when I started, because I was going through some stuff from like 2019 to like 2022. And I really wasn't focusing on the business side of Apogee. Um, so when I started making like a resurgence and started promoting it, like, hey man, this book's coming out, and people are like, Apogee's back? What the hell? I thought they went out of business. Like, what are they working on? What's going on? There was questions throughout my social medias. And I'm like, hey man, Slayer and Prime's coming out. We're gonna release it on our website. Blah blah blah. And then with Valhalla 3, they're like, holy shit, when did issue 2 come out? And I'm like, it was the Kickstarter that you guys didn't back because you guys don't like issue 2s, because
Right,
that's what I
right.
found too. Everybody wants the issue 1 just in case it, kicks off, and then they complain on the same breath that there's not a whole lot of independent issue 2s out there. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Look at Cyberfrog, you know. There's lots of independents out there putting issue 2s, but people are so focused on the issue 1s, they forget about the issue 2s. No matter how much you promote it, no matter how your your mailing list is, and it's not a dig to people. Sometimes maybe they didn't like the story. That happens as well. So, or sometimes it just gets lost in their mailbox, or they just don't have the money. They're like, in this economy right now, selling comic books, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know,
Selling
um,
artwork is hard in general right now.
yeah, it's feast or famine, man. Right now, we're kind of in a famine mode. Because everyone's paying like $8 a gas, or
Right.
$10 for a gallon of milk. Stuff that used to, like, I went to the store last week. I bought 11 items, and they weren't big items. It was like food type stuff, and it cost like $150 at Walmart.
Right,
I was like,
right.
so there's been some inflation. And in an economy like this, it's really hard to sell because they want the book. They want to read on, but at the same time, it's kind of hard. Like, we're trying to entice people to give up their hard-earned money, and they work really hard for very little right now. So
Right, right. And I mean, honestly, man, from what I've noticed from being out there is the if you can show how hard you work in your, I guess, how you display your product. It's one thing to have product and setup, but how you display it. If
right,
you're showing how you hustle through your display, people are a little bit more ready to buy something of you. I was thinking like that skateboard, man, like, because I have a
yeah,
skateboard rack. I would love to just put
that'll
it
be
on.
available for purchase at your street con. I'm gonna
Exactly,
bring it
man,
with me.
exactly. And so
Of
I would
course.
love to have it on the skateboard rack with all the other skateboards, so that it's fixed in this entirety of it, because it's not going to be, oh, just one artist. It's going to be a mecca of us inside one
Right,
situation,
right,
um which will be dope, I think, because it's going to have enough space. Everyone's going to have their own respected spot, but also it's going to be one store, so we're all like employees for each other's shit, and we're all just championing each other. So
yeah,
for me, I've seen that if you show the hustle through your display, people are more willing to support it. It that doesn't mean, like we talked about this about GoFundMe or the Kickstarter stuff.
any of
It's
the
like you still
crowdfunding
have
stuff. Yeah,
to, yeah, you got to still like hustle it and go, hey man, go buy my shit or go support my shit. I created this tier that gives you this product. You still have to be creative with how you put it out there. And I think
yeah.
like
There's
you were saying,
salesmanship
the
involved.
economy, but then also it's a fix for a moment, and it's a fix situation where you think, oh, this is going to get you income, and everyone is now basically saying, hey, your product is worth this much. Now you're giving the people the ability to kind of screw you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Where
And it's also where people place value. A lot of people will place value in CGC rated books.
right,
Nicholas Gear, who had commented on here, creator of Tin Soldier, he took one of my comics and he went and got it rated, and it rated at like a 9.8 or something like that. So it instantly increased the value of my book that I sold for $5. Now it might be worth $300-$400 because it's a near mint copy. So it
right,
all
right.
depends on what people put value in. And you're right on the hustle. There are people that'll appreciate how much hard work you did, especially if you have like your artwork has a sense of professionalism. You know how to sell it. You have that salesmanship and how you describe what you did here and explain to it why it's valuable. I think that's one of the hardest parts because you always run into a few guys that go, "Oh man, my cousin can draw that," and then you look at what the cousin could draw, and it's dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, you're not even in the same. You're not in the same league. You're not even the same damn sport as I am right now.
Don't get him
Right.
to draw it.
And that's not bragging. That's not boasting. It's an honest evaluation in comparison to some other people's artwork. Like
It's
right now,
pretty
I consider
insulting.
myself AAA. Yeah.
It's pretty insulting to say that to someone's face. You see that they're trying to sell something that they've created, which
Yeah.
by itself takes a lot of
It takes balls to put yourself
to
out there like that.
sit there
Oh
and
yeah.
put stuff on the line. But to say something like that to their face, that's just rude as hell to me. It's like I don't have time for you. You don't have to
Oh
like my
yeah.
work. That's fine. But
And I
don't
try
have
to tell them in
time
the most
for that kind of
professional way.
attitude.
Well, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Once you get your cousin to do it. But I've been doing this for 11 years. I ain't seen him out here once.
Right, and also the reality of it too is because like when you put your stuff out there and you're out there in the public, and I've been doing this since I was 18 years old, which I think a lot of people my age haven't really given themselves the ability to go do that. A lot of people my age just got out of college for what it is that they were learning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like I learned the game before I even got into the game. And yeah, you have people of all kinds who can possibly be shitting on you, who could be shitting on you with a smile on their face, thinking that they're getting over on you about whatever it is they're dissing you for. And the thing
Yeah.
is like when you realize, oh well, it doesn't really matter because the typical art is interpretation, and also, what does it matter that you're telling me that? Like you were saying, well, why doesn't your cousin go draw it or like go fuck yourself? However you feel in your head of what you want to say, but then it always gets chopped down to, damn, I'm in public and I'm a man of business or a woman of business. I'm gonna figure out the best way to say this professionally. And so that always ends up getting chopped down to this. If you're willing to do this thing, you have to be willing to get criticized. Like even with this, I was a little nervous. Like maybe they're gonna be like, "Oh man, the artwork's not, you're not doing this or this," and it's like,
But
okay,
here,
well,
there's a lot
deal
of
with it.
artists that feel that way, especially newcomers. And what I tell them is there's somebody out there that looks forward to seeing your next creation. It may just be one person, but there's still a person out there that is looking for the next Zander drawing or the next John drawing or the next Nick drawing. There's people
That
out
one
there
person
that,
will tell their friends too, though.
yeah, and it'll spread like wildfire or COVID or whatever, but, or maybe herpes, depending. I don't know
Ah,
what kind of circles everybody runs in. But that's kind of what I'm saying is that there's an audience for everybody. And that audience might not necessarily make you famous, might not make you rich. It might put a couple of coins in your pocket, but eventually they're going to tell other people about you, you know? And I think that's the most important thing is that you keep those loyalists is what I'll call them. I'll call them loyalists. You keep them happy. You create for them because that's your audience, right? And they will like and share and comment and tell anybody who'll listen, you got to check this dude out. He is amazing. I had
Right.
people when I was hitting the con circuit really hard in like 20 between 2014 and 2018. I was going all over the state of Texas. I started off at a con at a convention center that was literally down the street from where I was living. Um, got invited back year after year, discounted tables. Then, hey man, mind doing a panel? Joining in on this ensemble panel about this, and then it was like, hey man, do you want to do a panel on your own? So I was climbing the ranks. I was putting my dues in, And then I'm getting like, hey man, can you come to Laredo? Hey man, can you come to Dallas? Which is like an 8-hour drive from where I was living. Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll be there when you need me. Then I was guest, and then I was a featured guest. So all because I just kept grinding. I kept
Right.
a good social media presence going. I was finding like when I started off doing live feeds, it wasn't off my computer. It's like I hooked it up to my iPhone and had it on like a crane stand holder thing that was just looking over my shoulder, and like the sound quality wasn't all that good. And then I started, making a little bit more money doing this. So I started investing back into myself, got a webcam, set it up to the computer, got an external mic. So it was right there. So it didn't feel like I was yelling across the room, because my computer is pretty far from my drawing table. Then eventually I got to the point where I'm like, I'm going to get a tablet. I'm going to get a digital tablet, you know, and now I can share my screen and draw live, and I'm right next to my computer where the sound quality is really good and things like that. So it's a
Right.
it's a big cycle. You get your success, you maybe get a little bit of a payday, you invest it back in yourself in new equipment, better equipment, and you're going to get there too, because the setup you have right now, same setup I had in 2014 when I decided, like, you know what, maybe somebody would want to watch me draw live, you know,
Right.
and like I say the first dozen videos, like I maybe get 3 or 4 people watching, things like that. And then as I got better, I may not get a lot of people during the live, but I'd have a lot of people in the replay. And I
Yeah.
always thought it funny because they'd be watching the replay and commenting as if I was live, and I'm like, I can't respond to you right now because I don't know what the hell you're talking about, you know.
I don't even remember what I said.
Because you're at like the 32-minute mark, and who knows what my drunk ass was saying. So, no, it's a fun journey. It just reminds me of Men in Black, where Kay is talking to Jay, and before he fully goes, MIB, and Jay's like, "Hey, man, is it worth it?" And he goes, "Yeah, if you're strong enough." You
Right.
know, and I took that to heart, and that's kind of like something that plays in my head. That and a saying from Jack Kirby, which keeps me from getting discouraged as when things aren't going so well. He said one of his famous quotes is, "Kid, comics will break your heart." You know, and I think that's a lot from his failures as he was up and coming. But you look at that dude's history, man. Like I don't think he had many failures. He was co-creator of Captain America, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Spider-Man. I don't know
Half
if he
the
had
Marvel
not Spider-Man,
universe at one
half
point,
the
Right.
Marvel universe,
and
and
DC.
most, yeah, the fourth world of DC, the type, the was it the
He
no, the
helped
New
create the
Gods.
Demon too, Etrigan.
Yeah, I love him. I'm looking for his McFarlane figure.
I love
Well,
drawing Etrigan.
you
Every
know what I
time
think?
somebody wants to commission me, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'll draw the demon.
I'll draw. I'll draw. You
Him
know
and
what I think?
Deathstroke.
With Jack Kirby, he might have been pulling from with that is look how the business did him. The
Oh, it did him
business
dirty, bro.
dirty, bro. It did him so dirty, and that's probably what broke his heart. You know what I'm saying? That's
Uh,
probably what
and you look
this.
at other guys
Comics
like
making is not for the weak.
no, no, you got to have a strong mind, bro. It's like artistic ranger school. It's tough. It's tough because like even today, I was like, man, this campaign's not doing well. I felt like a failure, you know, and I had like a good 30 seconds, maybe a minute of me being down on myself. I'm like, all right, let's figure out what we did wrong and what we can do better next time. And so I
Right.
started making a list. I'm like, okay, this is what I did wrong. I did exactly what I usually don't do. Usually, before I start a campaign, it's a month in advance. I create a temporary Facebook page, an event page, and I just grind, 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 grind. And I'm doing podcasts and I'm doing videos like this and I'm posting on there, you know. And then when it came time to launch, boom, 50% the first day, with my funding goal, because I grinded for that month, and then I still had to grind more once the campaign started going because it would go so good up until about that last week on that first campaign. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Do I have to do a striptease live? What's going on?
Yeah.
Thank you, honey. And then, it would make me grind even harder. I'm like, okay, what have I not tried yet?
You haven't taken it all off.
I gotta stop making your drinks. Make your own drinks. Make your own weak ass drinks.
Bitch, please.
Bish. You better, if you hit me in a dream, you better wake up and apologize. Mm.
No, I make my drinks too weak.
All right, fuck. Okay.
I mean,
No, I can handle myself. It's cool.
Your 5-second pour was just too little, right?
It actually was.
Wow.
It was. I need at least an 8-second pour. What are we doing here?
Wow.
It was Bush. It was Bush League. Okay, so we definitely lost our kid-friendly rating. Which
That
is
was
fine.
gone. That was gone probably the first minute.
That was done a while ago. It's fine. I'm not trying to get monetized on there. I'm here to spread awareness, knowledge. Because when I started this, there's so many avenues right now. Jesus Christ. Huh?
Give me your cup.
Thank you, love. Love you. Get another month in the house. There wasn't a whole lot of resources for us in like 2010, 2012. I started drawing Phantom Hawk. God, it was like beginning of 2011, because as an artist, you always have people that are like, hey man, you should be doing a comic. Hey man, you should make a comic. You should make a comic, right? I don't know if you guys experienced that. It happened a lot to me. Like, oh, these drawings are amazing. It's like,
That's
man,
where I'm at.
why are you not making comics? Why are you not making comics? I had no idea how to make a freaking comic. Thank you. I love you so much. So, next thing you know, I hear it all throughout my life, and I'm 33 years old, and I haven't made a goddamn comic book yet. I got a world of characters that I've created, backstories. It's probably why I'm a little crazy, because all those damn personalities and shit are in my head.
Exactly.
So I'm 33 years old. I come home from work, and I had posted some new artwork that I did, and someone like, man, why are you not making comics right now? And that was it. That was the final drill into the brain. Like, you know what? You're absolutely goddamn right. Why am I not making comics right now? So I locked myself in my office. Had no idea how to write a damn comic book. No idea. No idea. Actually, and which is funny because the first two were actually kind of successful. I'm like, I don't know how to draw a goddamn comic book. I don't know how to write. I don't know how to do creative writing. I know how to draw comic books. I know how to draw pinups. And so that's what I did. I locked myself in the office and did a little bit of research and story layout and what I needed. And it was very bare bones, rudimentary stuff. It took me about 8 months, and because I did everything. I drew it, I inked it, I lettered it. The lettering is horrible. I went back in and redid the lettering years later after I learned how to do it. And I was like, all right, cool, the comic book's done. Now what? I need to find a place to print the damn thing. That was another thing I had to go into and do a deep dive on research. Like, where do I even get this shit printed? Who does comic book format printing? Well, thank God Google was around, so I was able to find something. And I was like, all right, cool. I don't have the money for that yet, so let me keep going. But there's no time to waste. So I didn't do a full layout of the first story arc. I did the first comic book, and then I took my time and outlined the rest of the story arc, which was like 6 or 7 issues. And then I just started drawing issue 2, and I got a little bit quicker. So each time I had to do it on my own, I got quicker. So that's Nick's little story there about
That's dope though, man.
If you got the drive, you'll make it happen.
That 90s comic I was telling you about that I'm doing?
Yeah, has that got a name?
Nothing I've decided on definitively yet. Because
dude, just call it that 90s comic.
That's what I was thinking. But I wrote it, I drew it, and I inked it. So I'm that's like the 3 biggest parts of the process I'm doing myself.
Time sucks. Yeah. I call them time sucks.
But as much as I love doing it, I wasn't expecting the commissions that I got after I got home from deployment, or the book would have already been done by now.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the other thing too. Like, you got to take those commissions because that pays the bills.
Yeah.
Or it helps pay the bills.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it.
Like I've had to lower my prices because this economy is just freaking horrible. Because what I usually charge for a cover, I had to drop up like 35, at some points 40% because I wanted the work because I need the money, you know.
Yeah, that's why
But
I stepped up and started just to create my own shows because it was like, you know what, these street fairs, I could do a billion street fairs, but I'm basically going to be capped at what these street fairs could offer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might get the $1,000 day, but also there is like a, a ceiling to anything that you start doing. You have to kind of visualize how to break that ceiling, and I think that that's what's
yeah,
going on right now.
well, because I've
Is
never done like a street fair before, so I'm setting the goal pretty low at like a $500 day. You know,
oh,
if I can
okay.
make $500, that's cool. You get your 20%. I think we agreed on
Yes,
twenty
sir.
percent.
Yes, sir.
So you get 20% of that. That helps you. It helps me get invited back so I can make more money. Um, and if it goes really well, there's going to be people that are coming back, especially if they like what I'm putting out there. I try not to do a whole lot of stuff other than the comics. Yeah, I'm going to bring the skateboard deck because I thought it was cool. And I got another skateboard deck that I might bring. So I got the Phantom Hawk one. I might do a Bengali one. The goal is to do one for each of my major titles.
That'd be
I just don't
super
have the
dope.
wall space. So if I can sell them, cool. If I can't, well, that's cool. They just go back and I hang them up in my office. Prints, I got tons of prints. You know, so stuff that's even from like the big two. Like I got a bunch of Swamp Thing prints. I got this print I did after Stan Lee died. I did a print. I did a drawing of him sitting in a big, comfy armchair with like toddler versions, young versions of all of the characters he created, and then
Oh,
I
that's
stuck
tight.
in Deadpool. So and he's reading a comic book to him. And that's a big one. That one got displayed all over that year at every major convention. They had me on like a jumbotron or something like that. They had the artwork on the jumbotron, and
That's
nobody
fire.
nobody asked me. But the thing is, they just kind of ripped it off the internet. So I got no recognition for it. I got no
Oh, for
um,
real?
stuff. Yeah, WonderCon was a big one because it's there where the Ducks play, and they displayed my stuff on the jumbotron in the middle of the arena, and a buddy of mine was there while I was doing a con in Laredo, and I was selling prints of this, and the not only is it a good piece of artwork, it's probably one of the best pieces of artwork I've ever done. Um, I was taking 10% of the sales and donating it to the Stan Lee Foundation.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was doing some charitable stuff for it because it felt kind of icky, making money off, one of my idols,
Right.
trying to profit off his death. Felt wrong, but it cost me time and money to produce. So I got to get something back for it.
Well, at least you could put it through the foundation. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
there's options.
I think it brought in probably somewhere around $300, to the Stanley Foundation. I put it under Nick Carver art. So it's cool stuff, and those are things we get to do as artists. We get to produce iconic, influential, inspirational artwork that'll drives people to kind of, if they have a thought of doing what we do, you want to encourage that. There's not enough artists going on. There's not enough art in the world. So if I can promote that and push that and help it grow, I want to do that. So that's what we're all about here, at Apogee. That and you own what you own. So
I was gonna ask you that. Like, do you accept? Like if myself, like I have, let's say, 3 issues of a book, and I'm ready. I feel ready to submit it. Do you do stuff like that? And then,
we've done it in the past. I've had some bad experience with some bad actors. They got their
right,
book funded and got it produced, and then all of a sudden they want to jump to another company. You know, so
right.
uh, stuff like that. So it makes me apprehensive of bringing people on. But it's something I'm still willing to do. I'll get your book funded. I'll put some company funds into there to get it going. Um, but I think we're going to make some changes as far as distribution. Who's going to handle the distribution? Because let's face it, anybody that's coming to me, it's because they want to use the name.
Right.
They want to use that fan base to get their book out there. Not that we're huge, we got a very small following, amongst social media. I think Twitter's the hardest one that I'm trying to crack right now because the company is only at like 900 followers. Where on the Facebook page we got 2,500, 3,000 followers. Um, so it's things like that. Whatever small influence I have, I'm happy to let you use, but you got to do it in good faith. So,
Right. Right. There's got to
but if
be
you
some
have three
sort
books
of.
to go, and we think it's something that's going to one, increase our brand, because you got to look at it from a business standpoint. Is this going to help further our brand and further our reach? Um, and if that's the case, then yeah, we'll start working into the particulars and how we're going to get it funded, how we're going to get it out there. Um, yeah, we're always open to it, but it's got to be the right project. It's got to be the right thing.
Right.
It's got to have that quality that people have grown accustomed with the company. And like I said, we're like AAA ball, so we're a couple of games away from going to the big show.
Exactly.
So,
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah.
but
Just
it took a
curious.
lot of hustle, and I've been doing it for 12 years to get it to this point. So I got time. I'm patient as hell. I got a pretty good daytime job that keeps the lights on, so I can take risks here and there, and a lot of time the risks pay off. So that's really what's been great about this experience. But we're closing in on the 2 hour mark. I'm starting to get so sleepy because I'm old.
I just got started too. I'm like, I'm about to go
I
smoke a
know.
joint. I'm about to go
We're
smoke
gonna
a
have to.
joint and come back in here.
Yeah, I think that's why next time we're gonna like a week, or what do you think? Week, 2 weeks out, kind of give the theme so you can prep it.
Yeah, man, that'd be cool.
At least do the layout, and then you can go full ham while we're on the show. I think that'd be a little bit better because right now everybody's looking at blue line and stuff, um, which is fine. You get to see the first stage of the process, which is laying it out.
I know I
So
started inking just because I have ADHD, so I gotta like almost finish it in a way, but not really.
right, yeah, I get you. My wife's ADHD, so it's like she was sitting in here waiting for me to send her some video stuff. Oh, hold on, hold it up there just for a second. We'll blow it up here. We'll do what everybody's done, and then we will
So
find out here.
it'll be like Spider-Man and Doc Ock are engaged here. Doc Ock's pointing at him, basically saying you're dead, you're dead,
You're
and
dead, kid.
the tentacle that is going past him, um, I guess technically he doesn't know it's going past him. It's I don't know. It's kind of hard to
Right,
see, but his spider senses is going off right here, and so that's kind of like because he's trying to distract him basically just with
right.
with bullshit words, and
Throwing him the
he
curveball.
exactly, and so then the camera then switches. How I imagine it is like a loop.
Hmm.
It would have looped in this way and so then it shoots back to Doc Ock's back, just giving you the complete opposite perspective. Spider-Man jumps out the way in the same token, shoots webs to spray him. And the
Right,
way I designed the webs, it was more of like so that it possibly would form like a blanket. And so right here,
like a net. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly. So he's kind of blanketed with netted up with the spider web, and Spider-Man sits on top of him, going, suck my balls. Um, you can't fuck with me
right.
type shit.
All right. Are you open to a little critique?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So here's what I like is that I can tell what's going on, and it draws my eye from one panel to the other. And how you separated the panel is through Doc Ock's arms. Very creative. I like that. My only really, it's not even a negative critique. It's more like a thing you could do, and you could take it or leave it. Um, since on that middle panel there, where Doc Ock is the central point, he's the central figure that draws attention to your eye. You could do a little bit of shadowing from, say, the top of where his hairline is, going down to his temple and to his ear, and you can add some shadow in there. But then you can use some whiteout to do some details like his shoulder blades and things like that, or maybe parts of his, his costume, his suit. That's really the only thing that I would suggest you add. And I don't know if that's what you were going to do when you're inking, so I might be talking ahead of myself. But
Most definitely,
um,
but yeah. So you're saying like some dark hairline and stuff.
yeah, just put a little shadow back there. It doesn't have to be a hard black. It could be some cross hatching or some just some line work there. Yeah, kind of like
Right.
what you're doing there. Add a little bit of detail. It'll add a little bit more depth to the piece, I think. A little bit more form. And then you get into that third panel where Spider-Man's right there. He's classic spider pose, which is great. Nothing wrong with using that because people are familiar with that pose. And then what is he? Is he standing on a mound of webbing?
Yeah. Oh, let me see if I can finagle this here.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
so
know you had more. You had more rendering to do on that. I just wanted to
yeah,
make sure
for
I
sure.
I understood what I was saying, which is also good because it's not fully rendered. I'm able to tell what's going on.
Yeah. So
So
let me put it a little closer. I kind of was trying to draw the tentacles under there so that I can
it
when
shows
I
that
get
he's
to
bald.
yeah, exactly. So it would
Yeah.
technically be see through esque, but I would do
Yeah.
some
Right.
full webbing type shit. So yeah, he's just
Yeah.
standing. He basically just on top of him.
No,
So that
I think you're on to a really good page. I think that's a um, fabulous layout. It's pretty cool.
thank you, man. I appreciate that.
And then John, what are you working on?
World domination.
I love it. You got Pinky in the Brain there with you?
Got the first panel. There we go.
Oh, I like the eyes on that.
It's going to be, well, yeah. That's going to be Doc Ock. Once I add final details,
Is that the
and
top of
then
his head for Doc Ock?
yeah, just like the back of
Okay.
his head for right now.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It's a
Once I
good
drew the
perspective
hair in,
shot.
yeah. Once I did the hair in, you'd be able to tell more what's going on. And
Right.
then I still want to work on my proportions more on Doc Ock because for me they're built too similarly right now, and Ock has always been a little more portly,
Chunkier.
shall we say?
Yeah, he's a high calorie human.
Yes. So I want to be able to show that. Because normally I'll do a few rough drafts before I put anything on Bristol, but today we would just get it on, and get it over with. So this is what I come up with, and then we have the final panel.
Hold on, I somehow unzoomed from you. Let me fix that. There we go. Now everyone can see.
Oh snap!
Talk shit now, dog. I done beat you.
I may add more to it later on with a little more body language, maybe mess around with the angles more, see if I can get the best shot I can. But I'm going to keep it to the same 3 panel layout that you wanted. But since we have a
I
week
just thought it was
now,
a challenge. It's hard to
oh
tell a
no, it
story in three
is,
panels.
it is. But I'm also a
That's why I put it
perfectionist,
out
so
there.
if I know I can do better, I'm going to try.
And some of my writers like to frickin' challenge me and give me a three panel frickin' page,
Yeah.
and then it's like, I need you to do all of this story artistically in 3 panels. And I'm like, oh man. And then they'll put in something like a boardwalk scene with Ferris wheels and carnival prizes. And I'm like, I've never drawn that a day of my life. And I'm like, well,
Shit.
here you go, bro. And I'm like, all right, bet, hold my whiskey. Actually, no, get that. I'm going to need that. So, all right, then we'll go over to my stuff. I didn't get that far. I was too busy talking and enjoying the artwork between, among Zander and John here, and talking about the industry and what makes a good comic. I don't know. Did we talk about what makes a good comic? We talked about what makes a good sequential page. So here I got on the top panel, Spider-Man's here, Venom's here. They're talking shit to each other because that's what they do. And then here's Venom beating the ever-living snot out of Spider-Man, who's here, and Venom's here. Hopefully you'll be able to tell who Venom is because of his size, right?
Oh, most
And
definitely.
then I didn't get to panel 3, but panel 3 is, I hadn't decided who won yet. I got into talking about comics and talking to you guys. So the vision was that Spider-Man was defeated and Venom is standing over him. So it would have been Spider-Man's head laying down on the ground, part of his body hanging out here, and Venom just kind of like, boasting how he kicked the crap out of him like he always does. So I'd be hunched over a little bit and just doing that classic Venom pose, like, we have beaten you, Spider-Man. That kind of stuff. So that's what I had. Everybody watching, and nobody's listening because this is all on visual mediums. Next time, I'll put the assignment out, like a week prior, a little bit more in advance, and we'll be able to do full renders. We've been at it for over 2 hours, and artwork takes time. A page like this is going to take me at least 48 hours. Not 48 hours, but 4 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Depending on if I'm in the groove or not, or how much detail I'm going to put into it. But doing things digitally, I got so many cheat codes on this bastard. I can fill it in with blacks. The inking goes so much quicker now.
Right.
So, and people are probably asking, well, then how come these 2 issues aren't done yet, Nick? I'm like, because I'm busy, man. I'll get to it.
God damn.
But
Help
no,
me out.
I do owe the people some second issues. They've been waiting patiently for 5 years. So sorry,
Shit.
I had some real life stuff going on, slowed me down for about 3 of that. But I'm back on the ball now, so rest assured, new issues are coming out soon.
It's coming.
It's the point now where I could probably draw every title, an issue from every title, in like every 3 or 4 months. So hopefully I get back to that. But I also like to sleep and eat. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for spending some of the precious time watching us go for most of the 2 hours and commenting in the comments section from Facebook to Twitter and YouTube. I also want to give a special thanks out to my guests, Zander and John, for joining me tonight and putting up with my drunken shenanigans and talking endlessly about the industry of comic books and the history of comic books.
I love it.
We'll be doing this again. Like I said, the next show will be it's going to be in late October, so it might even be November 1st, which is a Monday. I think. No, that's not right. I don't know. I'll put out a schedule. It's going to be Mondays, it's going to be Wednesdays, and it's going to be Saturdays. I'll try and keep it around the same times. If not, I'll let you all know. These will all be scheduled out, and hopefully I can have my guests Zander and John back on again to help me out here and talk about the lovely world of independent comics and comics in general and what we love about it. And maybe you'll tell your friends and share those links. So,
yes, sir.
guys, we talked about where they can find you, right, on the social media, so we can get you some more fanage, right?
Most definitely,
Right, cool.
most definitely. Yeah, man.
All right,
I want to say thank you again, and I appreciate you guys. You guys are in the San Diego area. You guys can catch both of us, both me and Nick there. Sir Jonathan, I don't know, John. I don't know if you're out here in California, but if you
No,
can make
he's a Floridian. He's out.
Oh, okay.
He's out on the East Coast.
Okay. Well. Whenever you're in California, man, we'll hopefully we'll have something for you to pop up at, and we'd love to have your work there.
Thank you.
All right,
Yes, sir.
cool. So, everybody, you heard it first. All of you guys that are local in the Southern California area, come down to San Diego. I'll be posting the flyers here on the Instagrams and the Facebooks, promoting the show, because not only does it help me, but it helps my boy Zander here, so we can do more shows and get more artwork out to you. So, from everybody here on this panel, just want to say thank you and thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.